and welcome to the Victreebel Solo Run on the RetroBrown channel. Final evolution of the Bellsprout line, the last one we need to do from this line as well. So let's get started with the run. So Victreebel is, in my opinion, a great Pokemon, probably the best grass Pokemon in Gen 1. Our rival for today is going to be TTG. Thank you for subscribing, welcome to the channel. So let's have a quick chat about Victreebel. It's got a base stat total of 480, which from the outset doesn't look great. But look at the way its stats are spread out. It's got 105 in its attack, 100 in special, which means we can either go special attacker or physical attacker. We've got 70 base speed, which is still solid, 80 base HP, and 65 defense, which, to be fair, if we're going to outspeed a few things anyway, we're not going to worry too much. What makes this Pokemon even better, it starts off with the move Sleep Powder. Now in the previous video we were talking about Hypnosis having 60% accuracy. Sleep Powder's got more at 75. So yeah. And what's even better about this Pokemon, it starts off with the move Razor Leaf, a stab grab grass move at 55 base power. Yes, only 95% accuracy, and if you don't have 100% accuracy, you might as well have 0 sometimes. But it also has the higher crit chance than normal, which is perfect for us because it's a stab grass move. We even get stab acid as well, which can lower defense, and we can pick up stun spore as well, which we probably won't be using. But I feel like with this moveset starting off, we've got all we need to actually pretty much one-shot Brock and do this at minimum battles. So that's what we're going to do. We're going against the mandatory trainer in Viridian Forest, this guy with the level 9 Weedle. We get up to level 7 before progressing straight on to Brock. We are going to heal up though, and we'll see how we do against the big man himself. So Brock's only got 2 Pokemon, a level 12 Geodude and a level 14 Onix. Neither of them have got rock or ground moves, so they've only got the likes of Tackle and Bite. 2 Razor Leafs sweep his team completely, and we can move on to Mount Moon. Now there's nothing really too much we can pick up in Mount Moon, so we are just going to go straight on the mandatory fights, going against the Super Nerds, and we're getting into this bit around about level 16. We're using Acid to conserve our Razor Leaf PP, and we're going to sweep through this fight pretty comfortably. So level up move wise, we don't really get too much that we already don't have. We get Wrap at level 13, which, considering we've got great moves already, we don't need. But its TM moveset is quite bare, really. We can pick up Sword Stance, which, if I allowed stat boosting moves on my channel now, I would definitely pick that up, but we don't use stat boosting moves. We can get Body Slam, which is perfect. We can get Mega Drain, which can help with recovery. And I think even just that shallow move pool as it is will be more than enough to take on this entire run by itself. Misty, of course, is not going to be a problem. Just Razor Leaf your way through. It's going to be incredibly quick. And it means we can then progress on to Nugget Bridge, get up the Dig TM. But we also need to go against our rival TTG here. So, again, Sleep Powder is just, Sleep is just a broken status in Gen 1. It can put you to sleep for up to 7 turns. I'm pretty sure I've heard that on a few other channels. But it also means that when they wake up, they waste their turn having to wake up instead of later generations where they wake up and they can attack straight away. It's really, really useful in Gen 1 to have a sleep Pokemon. And I would say Victreebel, probably one of the better ones to have, just because Sleep Powder's got better accuracy than Hypnosis. The only other Pokemon that's got a better sleep move is Parasect, and that's with the move Spore, which is 100% accurate. But Spore is locked just to that Pokemon. It is only found on the Parasect line, so everything else has to deal with just having Sleep Powder at 75%. But not complaining whatsoever. At least 3 and 4 times it will hit. At least that's what you'd think anyway. As I've said, accuracy is a bit weird in Pokemon because if you don't have 100% accuracy most times, you won't hit a lot more than you actually think. On the SSM, we can pick up Body Slam and then progress back onto TTG again and see how we do here. He's got a better team than normal and we're only at level 22. We must be a slow growth Pokemon. And as long as we can outspeed, we're fine in this fight. We can even outspeed the Kadabra, who's got bad defenses, so we don't even need to put it to sleep. 1 Body Slam will take it down. And the final Charmeleon, not a problem whatsoever. 2 Body Slams after it's asleep. That brings us to the 3rd gym, and of course, we don't have a type advantage here for the first time in the run. But I don't think we're going to have to worry too much anyway. Reason for that, Surge's Pokemon are quite defensively weak, so we can either go for Razor Leaf with the high crit chance, which we get 2 off straight away, and then we can put the Raichu to sleep, who's probably the biggest threat, and even saying that, it wasn't a big threat because we do resist electric, so we get an easy win again. That progresses us to the east of Cerulean City, where we can go to Rock Tunnel. You've got the fight against the Rapping Lassie, which if you don't outspeed it can be problematic sometimes. And then you've got the Exploding Hiker and Mount Moon, who I always talk about because it's funny. Like, if you don't outspeed, he has a chance to use self-destruct on all of his Pokemon, and not many Pokemon can stand up to 3 self-destructs in a row. But we do take him down because we've got Razor Leaf, and we progress on to Lavender Tower in the next rival fight. Here, because we're more over-leveled than his entire team, the biggest threat is actually getting put to sleep by the Execute. And there's one more problem that we need to deal with that comes directly after this, and that's going to be the Gyarados. Because we've started off with a Grass Pokemon and our rival's got a Fire type to counter that, they will always get a Gyarados here. If you can outspeed him, get it to sleep, it's not a problem whatsoever. Body Slam still one-shots the Kadabra, and the Charmeleon here, its best Fire type move is Ember, which doesn't do enough to take us down. So until it gets Flamethrower, we don't really need to worry about that Charmeleon all too much. But now the next gym coming up, of course, is the Grass Gym, so it's Grass v Grass, and we're going to see for the first time on this channel, the Victreebel v Victreebel show off. I much prefer Erica in Red and Blue because she has a much more powerful team in my opinion than her yellow counterpart, where she's got a Gloom and a Weeping Bell instead of the evolved forms. But just this Victreebel alone, as long as you can get him to sleep, because Sleep Powder can hit grass type moves, grass type Pokemon, you can Body Slam your way through, and there you go, that's how you do this. Yeah, Body Slam is just a great move. If I had to ban it on my channel, I would be very, very sad. But no one has ever said to me that I can't have Body Slam, so we will use it as much as we can instead of using stat boosting moves. The reason why we don't use stat boosting moves on this channel is because it induces the badge boost glitch, and as soon as you start inducing that, I feel like it just makes the run a bit unfair. I want you to make sure, pretty much just from the start of this year, because I'll be honest, I did use the badge boost glitch prior to this year, 2025, and a lot of my videos you'll see prior to that will have utilised it in some capacity when needed. Reason why we don't use it is because pretty much it just means that it's going to be way too easy. And I want a challenge. Like, I'm doing 151 of these runs in total. I wanted to make sure I did more of a challenge, and I wanted to see whether Pokemon can actually complete the game off their own merit alone, not by utilising a cheeky glitch. Because we're making such good progress, we're actually going to go to Silph Core first, which is the quicker way to go about the game in my opinion. We are keeping Acid on our moveset literally just for the Execute, because it can be trolly at some points. The Gyarados, as long as it doesn't wake up, you're fine, and you can use Acid to lower its defenses and deal more damage. But now at this level, the Alakazam actually outspeeds us, and this is a problem. We're on 34 HP, and an Ember from this range can take us down. So there's our first loss of the run, and it came to Rival 5 TTG. I wasn't expecting that, but you know what? We don't have a HP recovery move at this point. We could learn Mega Drain from the TM, but it's not going to do massive amounts of damage to any of his Pokemon. So right now, Razor Leaf is still the better move to be using because it deals that more damage. We're always going to take quite a lot of damage from the Alakazam, but we saw the perfect move there. We wanted to only see him use Confusion. That way, we could still have enough HP to take down the Charizard once we got it to sleep. And it's a bit RNG dependent, this fight. We didn't do this first time, we didn't even do it second time. I've only shown you 2 of the tries. Probably took me more about 5 tries, and that was the first time in the entire run that I actually lost. And it made me worry about the later fights against the rival. One thing I don't have to worry about though is Giovanni. He is not a problem whatsoever. You outspeed pretty much all of his Pokemon. As long as you can get Body Slams in, you can get him to sleep. You do not need to worry about Giovanni whatsoever. So with Silph Core completed, we can either go to Sabrina or we can go to Koga. Considering we didn't outspeed that Alakazam, I'm actually going to opt to go for Koga next. We will lose a tiny bit of time by doing it this way, but it means we can get a few more levels up here quite comfortably. And in Koga's gym, the worst thing about this gym is actually his gym trainers. They're more powerful than he is, in my opinion. Purely down to the fact that they all use psychic types or ground type Pokemon. There's not many that actually use pure poison types. Koga, not a problem for us whatsoever, really. Get him to sleep, body slam your way through. You don't need to worry too much more after that. As you can see there, we missed 2 sleep powders in a row. This is, statistically, we should have hit at least one of them out of the 2. But this is Gen 1 and this is accuracy in Pokemon. It doesn't work as well as you'd think. So when we get through to the final Weezing, this is our first attempt. As soon as it's asleep, the fight is pretty much ours. We get the Soul Badge, our defense is increased because of the badge, and from there we can progress back to Saffron City. I'm going to give this a try now instead of going to Blaine because Grass doesn't do too well in the late game really against its gym matchups. Majority of grass Pokemon in Kanto are grass poison types. Like there's probably more grass poison types than there are mono grass types. Actually, I don't think there are any. Apart from Tangela, there are no mono grass types in Kanto. They've all got a subtype, either whether that's poison, that's bug, or it's psychic. I don't think there's any other grass Pokemon that have got any other subtypes apart from that. But thanks to Sleep Powder and Body Slam, we get a comfortable win against Sabrina, and I get myself very disoriented trying to get out of her gym. When we finally do, we can make our way down to Cinnabar through the Pokemon Mansion to pick up the secret key, and then progress on to the 7th gym leader, which is Blaine, the fire type. And this one's a worry for us. If we get hit by a Fire Blast, that could be a one-shot. So once we've completed every single gym question here, getting them all right because we just have that IQ of 100 and like a million, we can go against Blaine. So Blaine starts off with his Growlithe and it does wake up a few times. But what's interesting about this is he has bad AI. So what that Growlithe is seeing is the fact that we have that poison subtype. So what he's going to do is go for a lot of psychic type moves that don't deal any damage, such as agility. And that we can utilise to our advantage. Once we can get him to sleep, we only really need to worry about the Arcanine, this because it has the move Fire Blast. And we get burned, which cuts our attack in half, so Body Slam cannot deal out enough damage, and he uses a lot of random retroactive super potions. So we do take a loss here against Blaine. We are under level compared to his gym, or at least his ace, but we just need to get better RNG. That's what this fight comes down to for a Victreebel, is good RNG. Can you hit the sleep powders? Can you make sure you outspeed, like you get around? Good, this time we didn't get burned, that's perfect, and he didn't use Fire Blast. After that, it seems pretty trivial, doesn't it? With 7 gym badges in total, that means we can now progress on to Giovanni, and considering this is going to be an easy sweep gym for us, I'm going to chat about the channel. So, as we are getting close to completing both Kanto and Johto Solo Run playlists, I'm at a crossroads of where to go from here. Do I continue solo running, or do I go for the challenge runs? Now, the reason for I'm asking this is because solo runs, yes, I've got a lot of engagement on them, but their view counts are low because I release these every week. But it seems that in December last year, everyone was a lot more engaging in the monotype runs and the challenge type of runs we've got. And I do want to grow the channel, of course, but does that, in your opinion, mean that I should stop soloing altogether, or just do them every now and then in different generations? I do want to do a lot of challenge runs because I do want to see more engagement and a bit greater growth on this channel. But at the same time, the reason I started doing this YouTube channel is because this is the way that I naturally play. Like, even when a new generation comes out, I pick a Pokemon, I solo run the game with it. That's just how I naturally play. It's always been how I've played ever since Gen 1. Like, I think everybody... I'd be lying if I said that everybody's very first run on any new Pokemon game was not just build the team that looks the coolest, or, like, they do a full team run and just play and enjoy themselves. But after you've done that and you want some replayability, that's when I started doing solo running, even in Gen 1 as a kid, just because it made it more interesting. But doing this channel has given me a chance to actually start with a lot of these Pokemon that I never solo runned with, the likes of Tangela, because you would have to trade it back from Gen 2 after hatching it as a baby egg to be level 5 to actually do a run with. Yeah, it was a lot of work just to do it back then, so I kind of did it with a lot of Pokemon that were early game. So Tangela was actually a Pokemon that I'd never done a solo run with, never even used really, and I enjoyed using it. When you do solo runs like this and you do one of every single Pokemon in the generation, you get to try out things that you never did before, and that's really interesting to me. It's even like a Seal. Like, I never rated Seal and Dugong before. I did solo runs of them recently. Dugong's now one of my favourite Pokemon from Gen 1. This is what I feel like a lot of people who judge a lot of Pokemon videos do. Like, I would love to do the likes of tiering videos, so like top 10s and such like that. But when I watch a lot of them around on YouTube, I feel like people are doing it just based off base stats and movesets alone, and not actually trying out the Pokemon. So when I've completed both Gen 1 and 2, and I'm going to start doing top 10s for them every now and then, I feel like you'll get more out of that video because I've actually gone and done the runs to prove how good they actually are. Where they shine, where they don't, but only I would only do them top 10s in a solo run setting as well, so they'd be tailored towards that. Because solo running is fun. It is. Like, monotype runs are fun, but they take a lot more time. If you don't have as much time on your hands, a solo run can fill that gap and actually get that gaming needing that you need from Pokemon. Anyway, I've talked through a lot there. Let's get on with the Pokemon League. So the Pokemon League, again, Lorelei is very problematic. We have got rid of Razor Leaf Force Mega Drain because we want some healing capabilities, and that's definitely going to be needed in this fight because we are weak to Ice-type moves. We can heal all the way back up to full against the Cloyster because it doesn't have great special. Body Slam against the Slowbro once it's asleep, because we need to conserve that Mega Drain for the final Lapras. Ice Punch does a lot of damage, and actually Jinx takes us out here, it outspeeds us. So what can we do? Well, I actually do think it's possible at this level, even before level 50, to beat her with this Pokemon. So I am going to continue on with this. We just need better Sleep Powder luck, really, because we can outspeed a lot of things. Jinx is the exception to that. And even against the Slowbro, it's a very bulky Pokemon, so I'm actually going to use Acid here. Yes, I'm still using Acid, the 40 base poison type move, this late into the game, purely for one reason. It's got a lot of PP to work with, and of course, it does have that chance to lower defenses, so that can be valuable in some fights. Especially because we're using Body Slam, and that's a physical type move. And then we've got Mega Drain for our special coverage. Mega Drain is not that great of a move, but it still has that recovery element that makes it worthwhile. We beat Lorelei, move on to Bruno. Now Bruno's not going to be a problem for us whatsoever. We resist fighting type moves, we resist pretty much everything he can throw at us here. We're going to Body Slam our way through most of this fight, because most of his Pokemon are quite defensively weak as well. Use Mega Drain for Onixes because that's super effective. As soon as you get that Machamp to sleep, you can Body Slam it into the ground and not worry too much. Bruno's trash, we move on to Agatha. Now, this one is going to be difficult. Why is this one going to be difficult? Pretty much, we don't outspeed her Ghost types. And both of our special attacking moves have resisted against Ghost and Poison. And we lose straight away to the very first Gengar. So what can we do differently here? Well, with this moveset alone, I think I've pushed it to its absolute limits in this fight. Yes, Acid can still get the defense drops, but you're still using a hell of a lot of them to even take down just one Gengar. None of my moves can deal with her Ghost types like consistently, and it's just a chore to get through. The Golbat and the Arbok are the two easiest members of her team, just for the fact that we can hit them with Body Slam. We try in vain to recover some HP with Mega Drain, but it's just not dealing enough damage to make it worth our time. We're just losing time out here. So what can we do differently? Oh, there's another thing as well. Agatha uses a lot of super potions. If you've watched anything like a Scott's Fort run, a Gym Leader Matt, a D1D or 6, or even a J-Rose run, you know that Agatha can be a problem, and if you don't go in with the right moveset, you've got a real problem on your hands. But there's one move that we can learn on our TM move set that will make this incredibly easy. And if you know my channel, you know which strategy I'm going to be going for here. You'll soon see in the next attempt, because we do not beat her on this attempt here. We get kind of close, but we are running out of PP to use here. Acid, even though it's got like 30 base PP, yeah, it's just negligible when they can use Dream Eater. I've given it away. That's the move we're going to go for. We are going to get their Pokemon to sleep, and then we are going to mimic Dream Eater. Yes, this is kind of cheesy, but considering we learn Sleep Powder, that's all we need. We get them to sleep, we Dream Eater, because Dream Eater is a psychic move and does super effective damage against our entire team. Perfect move to take on this, and it's all to Agatha's own downfall by putting it on her movesets. And you can see here, we are level 51, and with the move Dream Eater, we're sweeping her entire team. Sleep Powder works in our favour completely this time round, and we get a final Dream Eater for the win. I really should have went for that strat first time, but now we're locked into Mimic as one of our move slots. We'll see if it helps us out in the next fight against Lance, the Flying type Master. I say Flying type Master, he doesn't actually have any Flying type moves on his team here. And, well, yeah. We are going to mimic a move though, and we're going to go for Hydro Pump, because here's a quirk about Lance. If you are a Poison type, only 2 of his Pokemon are an actual threat. Reason for that, both his Dragonairs and his Dragonites have Psychic type moves on their movesets, but they are Psychic type moves that will deal no damage. Gen 1 AI is really bad, so all it's doing is seeing that we are a Poison type, they've got Psychic type moves, and assuming that is the most optimal way to beat us in this fight, where it's completely not. Hydro Pump is just needed for the Aerodactyl, but as soon as you get that Dragonite to sleep, actually, as soon as that Dragonite comes out, you've won the fight as a Poison type, because he will not do anything against you. It's annoying that he uses Hyper Potions, but thankfully Hydro Pump will just take him down. And there we go. As you can see there, all he's doing is using Agility, and there's nothing he can do against us. That's an easy win against the League. That brings us to our final fight, and we'll see how we do against the final rival. So I'll come down to this. And I'll be honest, we have made incredible time right now. We're at a very low level, and we have made incredible time. You'll soon find out the end time we finished on, but first we need to take TTG down. Until Alakazam one-shots us. Wow! Okay, I was not expecting us to lose first time. Okay, let's see if RNG works better in our favour this next time round. We head up to level 54, we get hit by a big Psychic, and we tank it with 47 HP. What's crucial here is we still have the move Mimic. And now we can Mimic Recover. We have got extra coverage to recover our HP and longevity in this fight. We one-shot it with Body Slam, we Mega Drain the Rhydon, and we're looking a lot better now. Executor gets put straight to sleep and wakes up. Second time it goes to sleep though, we can use Recover, get our HP back up to full. All we need to do here, Body Slam it into the ground, and then we need to worry about the next 2 Pokemon. Gyarados is out next, and it goes for Dragon Rage, which at this point in the game, you don't need to worry about. You need to worry about it early on in the game when you don't have as much HP to work with, but in the late game, you do not need to worry about Dragon Rage. We Sleep Powder it, keeping it asleep, we Mega Drain just to stall it out, and because we need to keep those Body Slams for the final Pokemon. Charizard comes out and misses a Fire Spin. That could have been so bad if he'd used Fire Blast or Flamethrower, but no, he went for Fire Spin, which has got terrible accuracy, giving us a window to get Sleep Powder in. That's a win for Victreebel. Let's see what time we finished on. Is this better than Venusaur? Level 55, it is just on the levels. Oh my word, 2 hours 51. That is the quickest grass type run I have done on the Gen 1 playlist here. That's an insane time in final level. That's really, really good. Wow. Very impressive Victreebel there. If you never watched one of my videos before, at the end of the run we always spin the wheel to see what choices we've got for the next video, and then I choose one of those 3 to move forward with. First up was Pikachu, second is Venomoth. Venomoth's scaling up a lot, and I think we just need to get that line over and done with. Hypno's last, yeah. You know, I think we'll go with Venomoth and close out all of the bug types runs, because that's the only one we haven't got left to do. you got to this point in the video, please smash that like and subscribe, you legends. I really appreciate it. And we will see you next time for the Venom off run. Take care.